Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Marlou and this is Main Books, and today I'm going to show you all the 6 books I read in July. July was not my best reading month. I was just not really in it. I was just doing a lot of other stuff that was not reading. I even made a painting. I made bracelets. I watched a lot of like Gossip Girl and Once Upon a Time and Criminal Minds, and I just did some social activities as well, so it was not like I did nothing. But I didn't read as much, but that's okay. Also, the weather was extremely bad, so there's not just like summer reading outside. It was not in there for me, so really sad. I like read nothing outside. Terrible. Hopefully August will be better, weather and reading wise. Okay, let's get into it. The first book I read is Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson. This book was interesting. I went through it like not quickly but like easily. I was not like getting distracted or anything. I gave it 3.5 stars because at the end of the day, what is that book about? It's not really like, it is a story, but it's not like a book you must read. It's not that interesting. Pineapple Street follows the stories of 3 sisters, 2 real sisters and 1 sister-in-law, and they all have a different point of view from class and money, and you follow them throughout the book when they talk about relationships, jobs, their view of family and what it's supposed to mean, and it's just them interacting with each other and the parents and the brother, and that's basically what it is about. It has a lot of critique, that it has no plot and everything. It's just like, I enjoyed reading it, but what have I read? You know what I mean? It's not, you don't need to read it. Then I read Appetite for Innocence by Lucinda Berry. I listened to this as an audiobook. This is about girls who get abducted and assaulted, and then it's also like a timeline in the right now where they're rescued. And I don't know what it was with this book, but I was not thrilled. I listened to it as an audiobook and the 2 narrators were not really like, especially the Sarah one, I didn't fight with that at all. It sounded so robotic. The kind of thing about being like trapped in a basement is kind of like the thrilling part, like, is she getting out alive? And because you have the 2 timelines, you already know that they're alive, so like the stakes are not that high, if you know what I mean. And it just like it was just a bit boring. I don't know, I heard great things about this book. I was not thrilled. I gave that 2.8 stars. That's so low. I didn't love it. After that, I needed a romance because I was not vibing with that at all. So I read Flawless by Elsie Silver. I didn't have that huge expectations because I have heard that it can be a little bit cringy, and it was. And I knew it was like cowboy romance, and I just knew it was not going to be like super well written or anything, but it was super enjoyable. It was fun. Sometimes a little bit too smutty for my taste, a little too yeehaw, but I was expecting that, so I was not disappointed by it. I gave 3.5 stars because I will be reading the next book. I've heard that one is better. I enjoyed it, but I also didn't think it was great, but I enjoyed it. That's my opinion on the book. By the way, I'm barely showing any books. I already sold my copy. I read The Good Samaritan by Jo Marrs. This book really like disturbed me when I started reading it because it's about a woman who works on a like helpline for people who like don't know what to do anymore, and she is going to convince them to murder themselves, and that is kind of really scary. Because at first I was like, okay, maybe it's not so bad. It messed with me a little bit because I was like, I don't know, you're like really sick if you manipulate already mentally ill people. Like, ugh, it was gross in the thriller aspect of it. And then but it was also like not much was happening at all, and then a new character is introduced and then something finally happens, but it was not satisfying. Like I was not rooting for this lady at all, obviously. So I really wanted the other character to just, you know, I wanted her to be destroyed, and I'm not satisfied. So I gave it 3.5 stars because I did think it was a nice, unique plot. I've never read anything about a woman like this, so you know. Also, I didn't like how I have such a hard time talking about this book without saying any spoilers. But if you've read the book, like how things are written, it's not exactly how it is. You know what I mean? I didn't like that. Didn't fuck with that. After that, I read Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. I read this as an ebook, and I gave it 3.8 stars. Before We Were Strangers is about two people who met in college, and you see it starts out with the current timeline where the man is divorced, kind of unhappy, and he runs into her again, and then we start the story of the past where they met in college, sort of dated, not really dated, and then, you know, fell in love throughout, and then we go back to the current timeline when they, you know, meet again. I was enjoying it. I thought it was cute. But it's like sort of like second chance romance, and I don't really like just talk to each other, right? And then yeah, I enjoyed reading it. And lastly, I read Billy Summers by Stephen King. I heard Haley Pham, right? Yeah, she was like crazy about this book, 5-star everything, and I needed to read it. The only other Stephen King book I've read was The Institute. That one was super good. I loved it. It was great. So it was, you know, I was not like I'm going to read every Stephen King book, but if I, you know, hear good stuff about one, I'll, you know, try it again because the last one was really good. I don't know. This book is just packed with a whole bunch of things that have nothing to contribute to the story. And halfway through the book, it just completely changes into something else. And I think I gave it like 3.5 stars. Like, it was enjoyable, but it was also like Billy Summers is the main character. He's the killer for hire, and he is going to kill someone, and he has to play a role for months. He's also writing a book, and at some point he's going to write about his time in the war, and that just bored me so bad. Like, there are so many characters in this book. I don't also want to learn about all the people that were in the war with him. Like, I can't do it anymore. So, you know, it was fun. It's this, like, Stephen King books are so long, and then at the end you find out that, like, the main characters were not that important at all. This could have been so much shorter, and it probably would have been better, because now it just feels like two different books packed into one. And so yeah, you know, that's the thing with like these ratings. Like, some book I have low expectations, and then I kind of like it and give it like a good rating, and some books I've high expectations and they disappoint me. So, you know, that's tricky. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I would love to see you next time. Bye.